And I told him something because my father used to take us fishing. He loved fishing very much. And we went down to the Salati River, and there's hippos over there.
Yes.
There's crocodiles. Sometimes we see some elephants in that area. So he used to take us there. And I remember I was telling him, I was giving a speech in his birthday, and I said to him, Papa, you know, you used to take us to the bush to do fishing with the hippos and the elephants around and the crocodiles. I want to tell you that you left me in the bush. you never took me back. Because even today, I'm still, I still think about that day many, many times. I was doing a walk, like I told you, I was doing not on a vehicle, on a bushwalk.
Yes.
I've walked up to 0.5 meter to a black mamba. I've done that. Not deliberate. I didn't see the snake, and the snake was not happy to see me. I was leading, I think it was a group of 8 Germans. So I had a backup guy. One guy was backing up from me in the private reserve. And literally with my next step, I was going to be over the black mamba. And we were like far away from help. So it was in a remote area. So the backup just said, Elias, stop. And we're walking along a river. So I thought maybe there's a hippo somewhere. So I'm looking far, expecting there's a hippo somewhere. I said, no, check down there. I see this mamba was rearing up to my knee. I mean, this thing was coiled up, but by looking at it, it was over 3 meters to 4 meters at least.
A fully grown
I could
mamba.
see inside the mouth black. It's like a dream. Quite frankly, it's so good. It's like a dream. Sometimes I ask myself, am I really living this life? From where I came from, because it was one thing just to say, I want to start a business, not knowing it will work out well. But I think one thing that really helped me and motivated me to really start the business is because I built up a database before I could start the business. When I was working for the private lodges and in the Kruger, when we went out with clients, I always took out their details, email addresses, and so we can keep contact. So when we started this project,
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of Palabra Podcast Corner. My name is Nyeko Mabaso, and I'm so excited to have you here once more. Today we are chilling in the Kruger National Park. It's so exciting and nerve-wracking a little bit because it's not a common space. But I'm here to spend time with one gentleman that is contributing to the society and the rest of the world. Help me welcome my brother, Grootman Laga, Mr. Elias Shai, from Shane. He calls it Shane Royal Safaris, but in English, Kishain. So you tell us more about it. Mr. Elias, welcome to Palabra Podcast, Anna.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Nico, for having me.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. Hey, some people want to call them about but we appreciate Naguela reaching you to come spend time with us in our little corner, in your space, because this is your space.
Yeah.
No, man. I've read about your work. I've seen how you've been growing, what you do, and all that. And I think it's something it encourages us as the society, and people can learn a thing or two about what you do. Briefly, I mean, who is Tate Elias? Where are you born? And who is this gentleman? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Elias Shai is a son of Palabora, born and bred in Palabora. Actually born in Namakgale Township. Grew up most of my life there. And then I did tertiary studies in Venda, University of Venda. That's where I actually met my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, I did study admin there. Did complete the degree. And then came back with it, looked for a job from the government. Couldn't get a job, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I ended up in hospitality.
Okay.
Then I worked for Impala Hotel. Now it's called Kajori Hotel. Later, I worked for Sefapana Hotel. That's where I got the interests of the bush because Sefapana was offering safaris. So I always had an interest when the clients are coming back from the nature. What did you see? How was your experience? Sharing that experience with them made me more interested. But it's like this kind of work is interesting. Then I spoke to some of the guys who were offering the jobs. How do you get into this work? And then they advised me, you need to study for it. There's a college, nature college. So I was quite fortunate, then I had an opportunity to go to study in the Western Cape for my nature guiding study. And then when I completed, I spoke to my boss there that I wanted to redirect my career. I want to move out of hospitality, like in the restaurants, kitchen, to go start working in the bush as a guide. He was a bit reluctant at first, but eventually saw my passion, and then he allowed me to work there. And that's where my journey started.
Wow.
Yeah, then I started to work as a guide. We did a number of activities, mostly with international and domestic clients. I think until 2019, when we had COVID, then we get to be laid off work. That there was no, the whole world was on its knees with that period.
Tell me about it. It was, hey.
But then I got to stay home for a while. But then always I've been thinking to do it on my own, but it was always difficult, especially finding the main equipment, which is the vehicle. Was very difficult because they're very expensive. If you go to the dealer, you can't even look at the price. But then when the COVID, around 2020, everything was beginning to go into lockdowns and all of these things, the business was closed. So companies started selling off properties. And that's when I thought, maybe it's an opportunity for me to look at my dream. Maybe if I can get this vehicle, then I'll be good. I had an offer in Hoedspruit from one gentleman to sell, and I also had an offer local in Palabora. But I thought the offer of Palabora was much better than buying the vehicle, then register the company, and then do all what's required, with the taxes and the liabilities and everything.
Yes.
My wife was always there with me. She was very supportive. So we worked out the packages that we want to offer clients. And the main product is Kruger. So we've got quite a number of activities that we outlined for Kruger, like the whole day Kruger, from 5:30 to around 5 o'clock, doing breakfast and lunch that we provide ourselves. My wife prepares that. It's quite popular. I must say that is a number one selling activity for us. And then we also do half day in Kruger, 6 hours, either from 6 to 12. We offer breakfast, or we do it from 12 to 6. We offer lunch. And we also have the 3-hour drives. We call them sunrise and sunset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Mr. Shai, I'm worried if I allow you to talk, you'll end up finishing all this important information that I want you to share gently.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have I feel you're a pool of wisdom in your speciality. You've been in this game for quite some time. How long have you been doing this this safari?
The guiding business. I've been in the guiding field for 19 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like I'm part of the furniture in the bush.
Yeah, you've been in this game for a while. 19 years is a lot of experience.
Yeah.
As I was saying to my colleague, for someone who has worked that long, it becomes difficult to try and want to venture into something else. Because I see how your face shines when you talk about nature. Driving down here, I see how it excites you to talk about elephants and lions and all that. How, like, normally on a normal day when you go to work, tell me how does your day unfold? Tell me about your day.
Yeah, well, it starts at home, of course, because we need to prep everything from the house. So just have to make sure in the morning your mind must be alert, because there's a lot of things that need to be taken on for the whole day, So concentration is good. That is how I have to start my day. Make sure I take everything. Because then when we're already here and you left something important at home, then you have an issue. You're not going to serve breakfast without bread. That's in the bush. And you say, I forgot the bread at home, then that also spills off on the experience. But those are some of the little things. But just to get those kind of things organized, then you make sure your vehicle is in a good running condition. You go to meet your clients. And then, the plan is never fixed. Like I'm going to go north or south. We have a communication with the other operators here, like on WhatsApp groups. So that's where you can have an idea where the game is. If there's something interesting in the north, then at the gate you can decide I'm going north or I'm going south, depending on where you get the information.
I see.
Then from there we are.
Look, I could be wrong, Mr. Shai, but according to my observation, this field is not dominated by a lot of blacks. Am I right?
Not that I want to take the cake or take the pride, but I'm the only black operator in Palabora.
Wow.
Yeah, with the tour operator license in Palabora. I mean, most of my competitors, but I rather call them collaborators because I do work with them. They're whites. And then some are lodges who have got license to operate this thing. It's one thing just to be a guide and work like I used to work, but it's different when you are an owner, an operator, and a guide. And for me, it's a privilege. I feel really, really thankful that I managed to push it like that. But what motivated me more is that I saw the guys in Mpumalanga.
Okay.
Yeah, that area, a lot of guys are pushing it on their own. I've got quite a number of friends who have motivated me. I spoke to them. I did my research before I started about testing the market and all of that. They told me, there's great opportunity. And I did it. And I still feel like it's possible. When I got friends, I try to encourage them that, guys, it's nice to work, but try to take the risk and jump into the ocean on your own. But it's quite a journey.
So it was also important for you to to do a research about this field before you could go independently. Or do you think if it wasn't for COVID, maybe we wouldn't be here, ne?
Yeah, no, it will have been challenging. But I mean, I've like I said, it was not a decision that I took it suddenly in 2019. I had it in my mind for quite some time, and I've been saving for it. I think eventually I would have left, but maybe not at that time, and maybe not with this vehicle. Maybe I would have got another one or somewhere else. But my goal was to try and venture on my own because I had a business plan that I wrote more than 5 to 10 years ago. I already did a business plan. I remember I presented to my wife. This is something that I think we can work on, but you have to fine tune it because you can dream about a lot of things, but if you don't have something that makes the money, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So until you get the main equipment, then you unlock everything. Yeah.
What are the common challenges in this line of business?
The challenge is mostly sudden bookings. Those are quite challenging for us, especially with locals. Somebody wants to book 1 or 2 days before. And then normally when someone books, we need to have a communication, through correspondence via emails, must send them invoices, they must pay. And you find that because it's a short time, someone says, I want to do this activity. Come and meet me there. And I'm always very cautious about it. And you end up preparing a lot of stuff, I've had it. Unfortunately, I've experienced it and it really frustrates me because you prepare stuff, you get there, the person doesn't pitch. And it's one thing when somebody tomorrow say they want to book short notice. I said no, because I also want the business. So it's part of the it's part of the risk. But I still don't have an answer how to deal with that at the moment. But luckily, most of my bookings are well in time, especially on the international market. I get a lot of people that will book well in time. We can code them nice. We can discuss the packages. We can invoice them. They pay me maybe a month or 2 in advance. Then I'm comfortable. Not like somebody hasn't paid me, you pitch up and they don't show. So that's one of the big challenges.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other challenge is just when you're out here and maybe you get people that get sick.
Okay.
On tours, it's a bit of a challenge. Somebody you have like 150 kilometers away from home or from town, and you get a client that falls sick. It's a bit of a challenge. And other clients want to continue on the journey.
They
then
just
you
want
have this one is not feeling well. you really have to think, see what options. If it's possible to source in a vehicle to come and collect the other client, you can do that. But of course I'm a one man, but then of course my wife can drive. I've got other friends. Then sometimes you have to come through those kind of situations. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, you want everybody to still be happy. Those ones who have the experience, the sick one must also get assistance. And yeah.
Because I think over and above, an element of humanity also clicks in that this person is sick. And they need attention. It also makes sense. I mean, yeah,
you have to consider it, of course. You prioritize it, and that's why I say we have to make an effort to try and see if you can. If everybody's happy, then we can stop the tour and then we all go back. But because the thing is, some people don't know each other. They are compassionate, but they feel, hey, this is our honeymoon. We want to have this thing, and but then it's up to me as a guide that I must try to improvise and find a way to accommodate them. There's always a way. There's a will, there's a way.
Of course. There's always a way. Tell me about one highlight, the highlight, maybe let's say for this month, June. What's one highlight that you have that you're still, smiling about? That's something that has happened in the park with your clients. Do you have something that you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, very recently we had a drive, and then we were very fortunate to find lionesses that were hunting on zebras, and they didn't really succeed, but the attempt they made, got us very excited because it was like watching a movie.
Okay.
It's like now everybody's discussing, are they gonna succeed? Do you see the experience in them? You think they will make it or not? But eventually they didn't kill it. But they got a bit closer because it's not very often that you see that kind of action. I've seen in the past, I have had lions that take down a buffalo. And then another experience that really overwhelmed me was when I had a crocodile eating a porcupine.
Wow.
Yeah, with all the quails.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was also one of the highlights that I still think about as well. Yeah,
I would like to see that. Yeah. So these things still excite you, even though you've got 19 years of experience. These things of lion catching this and all that still excites you even today.
Very much, very much. But like I said, it's not very often you see that. And for us, every day is a brand new day. You come in here with many expectations, but you're not gonna always get what you really wish for. Just keep an open mind and see what happens. You see even small things. Sometimes I remember I had to see an eagle take down a liguan. That was very exciting.
Wow.
That was very exciting. It's very small, but it also has to do with the passion that you really enjoy being in the wild. I like it so much that even if I don't have bookings, sometimes just to relax with my wife, we come in the park, just drive through the park, stop in a facility somewhere, have a break, have something to eat, and just enjoy watching the nature. So, and I think it's our life. It's my life, basically.
People, who do you know that goes to work to relax? This gentleman, when he wants to relax with his wife, he takes the wife and go into the park and relax there at work. There are very few people that would find that exciting. But like I said, it's special. You are one of the rare ones in our society. We grew up looking. It was different and amazing. I mean, I'm sure you'll understand that a lot of young people in your times when they were growing, some wanted to be teachers, some wanted to be doctors, you name them. And look at you now. Growing up as a young man in the township, did it ever cross your mind that you might end up in this field?
Never ever. My first career option was to be a lawyer. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. When I went to University of Venda, that's what I wanted to study, law. But then my points were not enough from the certificate of matric. So it's either I must go back to high school or I have another option to study. Then I thought, no, rather I study something else. What's available? They said admin. Then I did that. But my first option was to be a lawyer. So slowly I had to write it off. And then, but I knew at home, I always enjoyed National Geographic very much.
Is it?
Yeah, during the days of the VCR, I'll always record those programs. if there's it's a documentary about the wildlife, the migration from Kenya and from Masai Mara and Serengeti. I always record those kind of things, and then always watch them.
Because they were fascinating.
They were really fascinating to me. I really enjoyed that. But of course, when I finished with the university, when I came here, like I said earlier, I couldn't get a job with the government with the certificate that I had. Then I had to do the hotel work, the hospitality, and eventually that's where I got the idea that no, maybe there's this area of the bush, and then eventually I started here. Yeah.
Do you believe this is a calling?
Yeah, I think so.
You're called.
I remember if you say that, I remember once when my father was still alive, we had a birthday for him, and I told him something because my father used to take us fishing. He loved fishing very much, and we went down to the Salati River, and there's hippos over there.
Yes,
there's crocodiles. Sometimes we see some elephants in that area. So he used to take us there, and I remember I was telling him, I was giving a speech in his birthday, and I said to him, Papa, you used to take us to the bush to do fishing with the hippos and the elephants around and the crocodiles. I want to tell you that you left me in the bush. You never took me back. Because even today, I'm still in the bush,
That's powerful.
And he
really
left
you in the bush.
Yeah, he left me there, and I'm still here.
And you found your comfort space in the bush.
Yeah.
A place where a lot of us feel uncomfortable, and that's where you find a comfort space. And I mean, you look happy in here. Eh? That's why I say if you were try and do something else, I don't think you'd be this happy.
Yeah, I always say to my clients, I always give them a line that for me, the bush, it's never dangerous. It's always adventurous.
Listen to this gentleman.
Yeah, because I mean, you always need to be positive and be excited about what you experience here. It's not our home; it's a home of the wild animals. But when we're here, and I think it's also because I also give myself time to study and research more about what happens in nature. The behavior of animals, the birds and everything. So that also makes it more interesting. Yeah. And one thing that really helped me was when I had the freelance contract with Kruger. Because then I could do bushwalks, I could do trails. And that's when you get to learn the bush in a different light. Because then you walk. I remember I did trails where we walked in the bush for like 4 days in the bush. You walk sleeping there with your backpack. You walk, you camp, you sleep. You wake up in the morning, you walk. Almost over 40 kilometers we walked. I did the Olifants Backpack Trail. It was amazing. It was quite an incredible experience. And that kind of experience really taught me a lot. But now with my company, I don't do that anymore because I'm not contracted with Kruger in that line. Okay. I'm contracted only for game drives, which I enjoy. But that just gave me an opportunity to learn more about the small details about nature and the encounters with the wildlife and food. Yeah.
Okay. If there's one thing that you're most grateful for about your life and how, growing up as a young man in the township and to who you are today, what is the one thing that you're most grateful for?
I think the family from before my parents passed on, me having to get my wife, I think that has really shaped me. Yeah, because growing up in the township was not easy.
Yes.
There are some areas I can't talk about, but I got into trouble a few times as a youngster growing up. And yeah, and if I think about if I didn't take the right decisions, I might have not been here, So, but yeah, with the guidance and the support of the families, I will forever be grateful for being a family man and growing up in a proper family, because my parents were Christians. They tried to give us the good morals and good values of life growing up. But, growing up in the township with the influence of friends, peer pressure, you end up not listening to the good guidance, and you do what you want and you end up in trouble. And then you realize, I should have listened to my mother and my father then. Yeah, but eventually nothing was distracted. We're still standing, we're still going.
Yes.
We eventually took the right path, and then I'm glad where we are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane Royal Safaris. So this was born in
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
And how has the journey been from 2020 till today? We are sitting here and we're talking about Mr. Elias and Shane Royal Safaris. Tell us about
it's like a dream. Quite frankly, it's so good. It's like a dream. Sometimes I ask myself, am I really living this life? From where I came from, because it was one thing just to say I want to start a business, not knowing it will work out well. But I think one thing that really helped me and motivated me to really start the business is because I built up a database before I could start the business. When I was working for the private lodges and in the Kruger, when we went out with clients, I always took out their details, email addresses, and so we can keep contact. So when we started this project, those were the people that I sent out. Direct personal communication to them that, look, I've started my company now. Because I had their email addresses. They gave it to me willingly. I sent it to them. And those people, even today, they are very supportive. They are very, very supportive. I mean, recently, we managed to buy 2 other vehicles at home, big cars. The one car we use, like the Fortuner we use also on the other trips that we are doing, like when we have clients doing transfers to airport, clients that want to go panorama, like in the court's window. But so we have got that kind of a vehicle. So it's been good. We can cover the basics quite easy, and we are very small. I mean, I work with my wife. She does the catering, like I said. But of course, when I have commitment, I do have other guides that I can hire in as freelance guides who can stand in for my activities when I'm not there. Just tell them exactly what I want them to do, where to pick up my clients, then I pay them. So yeah, and I'm never even short of those guys because they always get emails, they send me CVs, and their particulars are up to date. So it's been a very good journey, and I'm loving it. And we have got plans going forward to expand it and get it bigger. But for now, we just want to focus on the present and make the present more fruitful for us.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. No, I this is very courageous. I like how you unpack it nicely. So tell us, I mean, I'm sure Shane Royal Safaris doesn't only do game drives. What else do you guys do? What else does your company do? Or are there any other things that we are doing outside Shane Royal Safaris? If there is, you can also tell us about it.
Yeah, our business, Shane Royal Safaris, we offer various activities, like Kruger, like I said earlier, that is the main one of the biggest product that we give. But also for international clients, we also do culture tours.
Okay.
Whereby we take them into the townships, the villages, just to explain how the local communities live. It's a tour that is selling quite well. We do the panorama in the mountains, in the Mpumalanga escarpment. God's window, potholes, waterfalls. It's a very good activity. The boat cruise, that's another activity that we do in the Oliphant River. Sometimes we also go up to the Blyde Canyon River. In close to Hoedspruit there, we also have a tour in that area. And also the rehabilitation tour, a Moholoholo Rehabilitation Center. We also do that. Wherein the animals had artificial accidents, people can understand that the accidents are a result of what we do. So the tour is more about creating awareness so that we must be more cautious how we handle nature. Like, for example, people don't drive very fast and hitting animals with their cars, or maybe the electrical power lines that are in the open, the eagles fly into them, break their wings. So those kind of tours, they create awareness about that. There is also the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Center. I also do that. They are not so busy, of course, but once in a while I get a booking about it, wherein the endangered species, they get to be managed and reproduce so they don't become extinct in the park, like cheetahs. And everybody knows about what's happening with the rhinos being poached by that. So yeah, I mean, if we get clients that are booking with us for like 3-4 days, then we make a package with those different activities. And then every day is a brand new day.
Yeah.
We take them out on different excursions, and they really enjoy it very much. We don't have a hotel. Maybe in the near future we might look at a guest house, but at the moment we just recommend establishments that are around when people want to book with us, or they can stay in those places, or we go and pick them up wherever.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Do you perhaps do activities that involves the township or the community?
Yeah, that is the culture tour.
Okay.
Yeah, the culture tour is the one that involves the communities, because we sell that mostly to our international clients. We use just our regular villages like Makushani, Namakgale, Ben Farm, Omolani, Lulekani, just to explain the background of the villages. And then driving through there, people can see the challenges. You see people carrying water, carrying firewood on their head. For internationals, that's quite amazing, because for them it's unheard of that you're gonna have carrying wood on your head and walk to go and make a fire to cook food.
It doesn't make sense to them.
Yeah, for them it's like, what? They make pictures and stuff. But of course, I always advise them about making pictures, that people must give us consent. We're not here just to photograph, but to observe.
They are not animals.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, we do that. And then also, I've been involved in some projects. Fortunately, there were some areas that we found there was a need.
Okay.
Wherein, for example, some kindergarten schools that some ladies wanted to start projects like that. So when I went there with my clients, some clients did contribute much more to assist with some buildings and of the structures there. So it's something that it's quite positive for me, and
something that you're proud of.
Yeah.
No, that's good. It's very important also to give back to the community and contribute in one way or another. It's not a competition.
No.
You're just trying to make a difference. I mean, with your experience, if there's a young man or a young girl in the society, in Makushani or Amagasalwani, Amashishimali, Lulekan, wherever, or even in town, that looks up to you and wants to end up like you, what would you advise them to study, and how do they go about to get to where you are?
Yeah, I think firstly they need to get exposure with hospitality. Yeah, we say you must be a people's person. Yeah, you must this job for me, you must have comfort with people. Even though you're gonna work with animals, but it's one thing to have all the knowledge about animals, but if you don't know how to share the knowledge with people, it's not gonna save you much. So the one advice is that firstly, find yourself that you can work with people, because this is it's a job that works with people. And then study-wise, there are colleges that are offering nature guiding courses. There's colleges in Hoedspruit. You can get them online. If you just Google nature guiding, you can get those colleges. That's where you can get the certificate. And and then that's where you start. Firstly, you must get the technical knowledge about nature guiding itself. And then once you are comfortable with that, then you can try to move up and try to be an operator, own the business yourself. But then it's always advisable to start working in a company. It gives you the background and experience. Yeah, you need to start there. But most importantly for me is that be comfortable with people. Yeah, it's for me it's an entertainment business. That's how I look at it. We entertain our clients. People must come here with plans to enjoy themselves. That's what we must give it to them. Yeah.
But Elias, what's one common thing that you've realized or that you've encountered with international clients that you think they get wrong? Maybe, but sometimes they would come to Africa with their own idea of how Africa looks like, and then when they get there, it's something else. What's one thing that where they are confused and get there, they're surprised?
Yeah, I think, like you put it with your question, some of them have got no knowledge how it works here in the bush. They sometimes think as soon as you land in Africa, then you're gonna see buffaloes and elephants
Next to the airport.
and now they see OR Tambo. It's fleshy. It's 5-star. It's even bigger than some of their airports back in Europe or USA. But then, of course, the journey is to come to the Kruger, and when they come here, they have got the very same expectations. So I mean, here you can stretch. You can go 40, 50 kilometers. We don't see any game because this bush is over 2 million hectares, and some people tend to have stress about it. That why we don't find animals. And then you try to show them this is a natural system. This is a complete natural system. It's not like the animals are caged anywhere. That as soon as you come, it's not exactly. That's the one word we used to use. And that becomes a small, but it's a challenge that we enjoy so much that we tell them, look, when you're googling this thing, you're booking on the net, they tell you come to Kruger and see the Big Five. And then when you come here, then you realize you're not just going to see the Big Five. And they know, when they said that, they know you're going to find a guide.
Yes.
A guide is going to try to
unpack
it nicely, show you that the Big Five are not just like in one line.
Yeah, they're not waiting for you.
Yeah, they're not waiting for you. Sometimes you can come here, I've had people who stayed in the park for a week, never see a lion. And they really came here to see the lion. But, at the end of the day, you still want them to have a complete experience. That's why gently you try to teach them about the entire ecosystem, how it functions, Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. Yeah, okay, but what are the chances of us seeing a lion today?
Yeah, I always say it's 50-50.
Okay.
Anything's possible. You can't write it off. You might see it, you might not see it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are here,
the chances are high.
The chances are better
as compared to when you're at home.
Exactly.
What, Mr. Shai, if you remember with your experience, tell me about the scariest moment you've ever had in the park or anywhere where there's wildlife. What had happened?
I still think about that day many, many times. I was doing a walk, like I told you, I was doing not on a vehicle, on a bushwalk.
Yes.
I've walked up to 0.5 meter to a black mamba. I've done that. Not deliberate. I didn't see the snake, and the snake was not happy to see me. I was leading, I think it was a group of 8 Germans. So I had a backup guy. One guy was backing up from me in the private reserve. And literally with my next step, I was going to be over the black mamba. And we were like far away from help. So it was in a remote area. So the backup just said, Elias, stop. And we're walking along a river. So I thought maybe there's a hippo somewhere. So I'm looking far, expecting there's a hippo somewhere. He said, no, check down there. I see this mamba was rearing up to my knee. I mean, this thing was it was coiled up, but by looking at it, it was over 3 meters to 4 meters at least.
A fully grown
I could
mamba.
see inside the mouth black. I mean, 0.5 meter. With my next step, I was gone. I was out. But I didn't, when I saw that, one thing that kicked in my mind was that this thing doesn't need sudden movements. If I jump here, it's going to be more faster than me. You will think I'm attacking him. Then I'm gone. I stood still, and I had 8 people behind me. And I said to the group, the guys, we've got a big snake in front. Just move back. Slowly. I stress that, move back slowly. Don't create a commotion because this thing is too fast. Then the client started retreating slowly. They created space for me as they moved back. Even the guy behind me moved back, so I can make one step back, another step back, another step back. I think we retreated almost 10 meters at least. So the snake came halfway down. It was not completely on the ground. It came halfway down. So now we could relax a bit. So the guys can make pictures about the snake. They take a picture, then we can explain to them what it is. I told them this thing is called neurotoxic venom. It bites you. If you're lucky, you live in 30 minutes. If you're strong and lucky. Otherwise, people have died within 20 minutes after being bitten by that snake because it paralyzes your nervous system. You get your breathings get shallow. The heart rate slows down. Those are serious complications. You die basically you die. You start having convulsions. You start vomiting right there. Then you're gone. But then we explained that situation to them. They made pictures. Then we retreated more, almost 20 meters at least.
To give it
Then
space.
it went down completely. Completely. That I could see it was finally relaxed. I didn't panic at that time. You know, I had to. I was the lead guide, so I had to be in composure. But I'm glad I was the one in the front, because I don't know if another guy was there,
maybe
a different person could have reacted differently, and that could have been disastrous. So when I went back to my room in the evening, that's when it started to reflect on me. That what happened there? I mean, if that thing could have hit me, I was gone.
Hey.
I don't think those guys could have helped me, because firstly, we were very far from town. You know, we still have to walk to the lodge. From the lodge, drive another 1 hour to town.
Yeah,
it was finished. I mean, I thought to myself, but then that's when the big question came to me. Is this my time to leave the bush? Should I now leave the bush, quit the bush job, because I had this experience? But I thought, no, but I'm still here. Why should I leave the bush? I'm still here.
Yeah.
No, I love the bush so much. I'm going to stay in the bush. I'm not going to leave it.
No, you need to stay in the bush.
Yeah.
Your experience is worth more than money can pay for.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we want to sit down with people in our corner is to celebrate people like you, your success, because we've seen you from the beginning, you know, doing what you love.
Yeah.
And you are here today. One author says, do what you love and you'll never work for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So we really appreciate you, and we appreciate the contribution towards our society and towards the world of wildlife. Quickly, how do people get hold of you? Please tell our guys, our viewers, how do people get hold of you? How do they do bookings? Where is your information, or what can you offer? What can you give to the community?
Okay, I do have a website, www.shaneroyalsafaris.co.za. You can check it on the website. But of course, I've got two email addresses. shaneroyalsafaris@gmail.com. That's where you can make a booking, or info@shaneroyalsafaris.co.za. A booking can be made there. And also on my contact numbers, 076 170 6697 or 078 610 8777. You can drop a WhatsApp on that number or any of those numbers, and then I can communicate. And that's how most of my bookings get made. You know, yeah, that's my 078 612 8777.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm glad it's here. The
Yeah.
camera is able to take it.
Yeah.
People can see it.
Yeah.
And even on this episode, we'll be able to write the contact details there. You'll find them.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is to appreciate you, Mr. Elias, and also appreciate your wife, even though she's not in here with us on the set. But it looks like she plays a very significant role in the company. Is she a director in the company?
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly, because I see time and again you talk about her.
Yeah.
It's also encouraging that wives, women, please support your husbands. It's very important. You see, Mr. Elias is growing here together with his wife. It's important that we do things as family. Kids, what about your children? Do you have children?
Yeah, I've got 3 kids, and my first son is 24 years now.
Okay.
And then I have a daughter of 18. I have another boy of 14. And my son, I always say he's living the life I wanted as well, because he's a lawyer.
Ah, okay.
My son is a lawyer. He's in Midrand. He's working for a law firm in Midrand. He studied in UJ. And when his high school was at Mapokwani in Mashishimale. And then I remember asking him, what do you want to do when you finish your school? He said, no, I like to do law.
Yeah.
I said, what? that's what I wanted to do, but I never got to do it. I wish you can do it. I'll support you all the way, my boy.
Yeah.
Study.
Mm.
History is important in that field.
Yeah.
Study it and get it to. And he got good exemptions.
Mm.
And then he did a 4-year study at UJ.
Mm.
And in a record time, he completed the degree.
Wow, that's good.
We went there, my wife and I, to attend the graduations.
Mm.
And then he came back. He got a law firm in Palabora.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a small town, so was just working a little bit until he get a good offer in Midrand.
Yeah.
But that offer, it's got a little story from me, because the company that he got in Joburg, I had those clients.
Oh, okay.
On my tour.
Okay.
And we were just conversing, talking about our social lives. And I told them my son is in Joburg. He was studying law. And they said, yeah, but we've got a law firm in Joburg. And he was still doing his second year. So he's studying second or third year, somewhere there. I told them he's studying law. I said, yeah, when he finish, you must give us a ring. Maybe we can give him a chance.
Wow.
Well, it was like a small conversation, but then I took their details. That's one thing I always do. I have their details. And then I told him, I've spoken to these lawyers. They're in Joburg, but you're still at school now, so still a long way. But there's a light at the end of this tunnel.
There's a light.
And he completed it. And then when he finished, he worked here in Palabora. But I said, you must get in touch with those people.
Yeah.
He got in touch with them, and then he said, look, those people, they called me for an interview.
Wow.
They said there's a job offer that I've applied there.
Wow.
He did a virtual interview with them, and then they gave him the job. So we had to drive to Joburg with him just to get him settled and all of that. It was quite fun. So I'm just glad. I'm looking forward to maybe one day I meet those lawyers, because I think I met them first time 2021, just a year after I started the business. And now my son is working for them. So it was good.
That's good.
For
Big
me.
ups to them. We celebrate them. This is good. We like it. Before we close, tell us about this place. This is Masorini, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this place. What's the history behind this place?
Masorini, it's one of the heritage sites of Kruger. Heritage sites in the sense that there's evidence that has been found here and stored here and preserved here that people used to live in this place. Evidence like pottery. There's some during the Iron Age, where the Palabora community that they used to melt ironstone back in the 10th, 11th century. So we still have those traditional furnaces in this area, what they used to use. And they even built a little museum with the small houses, just to show people how they used to how people used to live in those houses, where the chief used to stay. So there's quite a number of this type of areas in the Kruger, because this bush, as much as we expect animals from them, there's a lot of history. The Kruger Conservation Program was started back in 1898. They made a formal proclamation in 1926. That's when they finally relocated the communities out of this area. Because the conflict was that people were hunting and killing the animals. So they had to preserve the nature, so that even today we can say we have got elephants, because if nothing was done, they'll be gone. So, but those people that lived here, there's evidence. And this is one of those areas. There's other areas like Thulamela in the far north. There's some other areas in the south, which have preserved, have been well preserved. And finally, I can tell you, as I was doing walks in the bush, certain areas are not marked. But accidentally, I remember once I found a termite mound, and in the termite mound there was a pot. A pot.
Yes.
That was covered by soil. You could see, if you scrape the soil a little bit, and we could see short lines that you see people were living in this place. So that's why Masorini is so special. So we are very glad that they've preserved it. They've made a museum out of it. So sometimes when people come over, they can be able to see it from close.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shai. We really appreciate your time. You are a very busy man, but you sacrificed and to come and spend time with us as Palabra Podcast Corner. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and also comment. Engage with us and also Mr. Shai. If there's any other question that you want to ask or any clarity or whatever, please go to the comment section and engage us there. He will answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet again on our next episode. Voila! Thank you.